This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake it.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out your eyes.
When I was broke, how you proud to sell dope to your own folks' house, nigga? I meant it how it sounds. Well, what are white rappers when they mold Mike Brown? Damn.
Nowhere to be found.
Man. I dare say one of the most important artists of this generation is here.
Wow.
And I say this because he stays a steady path, and the information and the nutrients that he feeds the audience and has since day one.
Yeah.
Created balance. I mean, he's made party records. He's made records that they hear in the strip clubs, which is okay. But he's had a careful balance in that recipe that is so important, especially now in these tumultuous times in this country and around the world, really. Yeah. What we're experiencing in this country is experienced around the world. And some of the lyrics he say, man, a lot of people are scared to even process it because it's going to force you to think and look in the mirror. The one and only David Banner. David Banner is here.
Yeah.
And I like to say something to you, bro. I don't know if they, this might not be proper for the show, man, but I appreciate your counsel. You know what I'm saying? Because what people don't know, is a lot of times when I wasn't sure that I should say certain things, a lot of times you picked up the phone. And sometimes you say, Banner, you might not want to say that today. And sometimes you're just like, black man, if that's what you feel, hold it down, man. And, just coming from where you come from and, what it has built, because that city within itself is a healthy, pimps and Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's really about finding that balance and just thanking you for even giving me the opportunity to speak, because a lot of the things that I spoke about that sort of started me down that path started on,
Right here, Sway in the morning. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because here's the flip side of it is, when you've been in this business for so long and you come from a certain place, people went into the game for different reasons now. When we, growing up in the 70s, you mentioned Black Panthers, we used to go to the food kitchens, and one of the, what made that organization so dangerous to the powers that be. Well, it wasn't just the fact that they knew their rights to bear arms and march to the capital of Sacramento, capital of California, for those rights. But it was also something they were doing in the food kitchens where they were feeding the babies before they went to school, and that became more dangerous because now people can retain information and cipher through the bullshit, and when that started happening, that was so needed because a lot of people growing up in Oakland at that time weren't eating breakfast. Right. And then you're going to school hungry and you're not really learning efficiently.
Right. It's hard for you to dream when you don't have a bed to sleep in. That's something that I always tell people. How can you dream when you don't have a bed to sleep in? You feel me? Yeah. And that's one thing that I learned, from the Panthers is that you want people to follow you, but in order for people to follow you, you have to show them success. You have to give them something. One thing that I tell people about white supremacy that people will not admit is that there are some upsides for some black people for white supremacy.
Break that down.
If you rap about certain things and, it basically tears down black folks, they pay you. Think about think about the hottest music.
Wow.
Like, I really had to step away because I want people to be clear about something. First of all, when I stepped away from music, I had the #1 single in the United States. Let's be very clear about that, first of all. I never fell off, just to be clear. Yeah. But I went overseas, and I think I told you about this one time, and I got an opportunity to see how black people looked from a worldwide perspective. Yeah. And that's when reality TV shows first came out and music videos.
Which ones, like Love and Hip Hop? Well, before that?
Even before that.
Okay,
even before
real
that.
world. Okay.
Even before that.
Okay.
But the thing is that the people, think about all the very, very uber successful black people.
Yeah.
They have no signs of culture at all. They stand for nothing, and they benefit off that.
Right.
Think about the greatest actors. Look at the roles that they play. Look at the subservient roles that they play. So in other words, I'm saying if you fall into the system, even think about pimping. Yeah. You know where we got that from? Pimping is a direct derivative of the slave master and slavery. From the mental perspective, ask real pimps. They'll tell you that. But see, for me, it's just about realizing it and just talking about it. I said something on BET a couple of days ago, man, and sometimes God works through me, bro, and I don't know what, you say things and you don't know what you're saying, but, and I'm going to be quick about it. I said, how can black people be held accountable for what they do when they don't know what they're doing?
Word up.
We don't know why we hate ourselves. We don't know why we do what we do. But we'll get back to
Well,
that.
no, I want to talk about that discussion because, was it Mark Lamont Hill? Did an excellent job.
Yeah. He's
moderate. That guy is one of my favorites to watch on television and listen to.
He's very important to the movement.
He's extremely important.
Because I get angry sometimes.
He can balance you out. and Mark Lamont Hill, well, you can see him speaking as a pundit on various platforms, but he's just somebody I think is really great for today's society and needed, especially in our community. Moderated this discussion, and here's something that you had to say in that discussion, David Banner.
Something interesting happened right before we broke a minute ago, and the brother asked, "What can we do concretely?" And I'm gonna go to David Banner because I saw his eyes light up when the brother asked that question. What can we do concretely to deal with this?
Well, I already have it planned out. There's about 7 steps that we have to do, and I'm gonna tell them quickly. First of all, we must get knowledge of self, our own self, our God, our religion, our education, first of all. Second of all, we have to create our own, distribute our own, then buy our own. See, white supremacy only fears 2 things. It's the loss of life or the loss of finance.
The loss of life or the loss of finance. I want you to go into that momentarily, but first I want to.
Are you sure?
Whew, no, we got
Sway.
I need you to explain that.
I'm with it.
Okay.
I don't have a problem.
Okay, all right. But first I want to play the song Evil Knievel. Why the name and what's it about?
Let's just play it. I think it's self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory?
Yeah.
All right, David Banner is here, 888-742-3345.
Where is the love mentally institutionalized by a nation plotting our demise?
Yeah. Yeah.
David Banner, Evil Knievel. Who was that?
That's Ernestine Johnston. She one of the greatest young actress, but she smashed Arsenio Hall show with a porn called Black Girl. I said I had to get her on the song. She literally shut the whole show down. Like they had to bring her back. And so I was like, I went and found her, and she's just amazing.
Let's hit a lot of topics. We got David Banner here. And I know Tracy and I were talking before you came about rap music and the impact it has on it.
women, yeah, and how we're portrayed in media. And it's interesting because we see the glorification of the ass, and we're all kind of just desensitized to plastic surgery, and none of it is really given back to the black woman. You have magazines that are talking about like it's Iggy Azalea and it's whomever, these fair-skinned ladies that are bringing asses back, but then nobody knows about a woman named Hottentot being paraded around for her full figure, you know? But all of that together, where do we as women stand, you think, collectively in the eyes of you and society in general?
Yeah, well, this is what I'll say. It's a problem with America. See, one of the problems with Black America is that they scared to check white folks. First of all, this problem has nothing to do with music. Music is the residual effect of what America has always done.
True.
Historically. Look at football. You don't need half-naked women on the sideline in order for men to run a football down the field. That's sexist. Look at commercials. I remember. I almost poured out lotion. It was so erotic. There was this. The shaving gel commercial, right? And they squeezed the shaving gel, and the girls just came skeeting out. And I was like, "Ooh, wow! I think I want to go shave." But that had nothing to do with shaving gel.
Right.
See, the problem is this is not a black problem. This is a old white man problem. The death of black people in America is an old white man problem. But when you start talking about old, powerful white men, then the lights start cutting off and people start losing their jobs. That's why I say most people are cowards. They don't really want to tell the truth. And I'll tell you something else. This is something that I really want to say about beauty. I walked into a beauty store and I went and asked the owner, who was, I ain't gonna go to that. I went and asked the owner, I said, is this basically a black store? Do black people basically shop here? And he was like, yes. I said, well, Have you ever noticed that the key word and the operative word is beauty, but I don't see any hair that looks like natural black hair? So what sign is that sending to black women? Is that why all of our stars are getting blonde hair? When blonde hair is actually a recessive gene and recessive hair or weaker strand of hair, and black people for the most part can't have blonde hair naturally. So are you saying you must kill yourself? See, the problem has nothing to do with exterior. If we started feeling better about ourselves, then it would all change. People do to us what they know that they can, including these cops. If you notice what happened to Eric here, dude, think about how many
Eric
people.
Garner.
Think about what happened to Eric Garner. Think about how many people in the neighborhood were standing around when that happened. See, that's what we only look at. We only see what the camera sees. But think about the people in the community that was standing around that allowed that to happen. In Oakland, during those times when we were growing up, that's the reason why most gangs started. The folks in the Vice Lord, the Crips and Bloods were originally community groups to protect black people from cops. Cops knew what hoods they can go in and couldn't go out. So I'm saying that it's all about self-preservation. If black women and black men love themselves, and I will say this, people won't admit this, but most black people in America hate being black.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. I gave the examples of what we feel is beauty.
Yeah.
If you look at the way that we even fight each other, the way that we beat our kids, do you know what that comes from?
Slavery.
It comes from slavery.
Yeah.
Do you know why we perm our children's hair? When black people were trying to integrate into white society, the person who looked closest to a white person got it easier. So you permed your daughter's hair so she would be able to conform and get into society easier. So her daughter did it to her daughter that did it to her daughter, and now we use the excuse that it's just easier. No, it's not easy. You can lock your hair up and just wash it and chill. That's hella easy. An afro is much easier than burning your hair, putting chemicals in your hair that you can't put in your body. But it's self-hatred. And until we answer that self-hate, I even said it on BET, we don't even praise a God in most cases that look like us. We are the only group of people who have a major impact on society where our God doesn't look like us. Asian people, their God looks like them, right? White people's God looks like them. Latino gods look like them. You go to Mexico, their gods look like them. We don't believe in us, and we are the original people. Black people graced this earth 92,000 years before any other man walked this earth. Do your science, I read.
Ooh. David Banner. Now you got a line that you share with me off air. You know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to paraphrase where you said, "I don't need your white Jesus.
Keep your fucking hope.
Keep your hope."
Yeah.
And then the next line is,
I said you
Bill Cosby.
Oh yeah, I said you crucify Cosby.
Wait, well, let's just say the verse. Can we say the verse?
I can say a little bit of the verse that I remember.
Okay,
I said
turn the music down. Go ahead.
I said you can keep your white Jesus. I don't need your hope. You crucify Cosby, but protect the popes.
What you mean by, okay, break that down.
What I mean by this, it's okay. I'm going to totally break this down. And first of all, I know people on blogs are going to try to go crazy because people always try to pit black people against each other. Yeah. If Bill Cosby did whatever he did, he deserves to get the full extent of the law. They need to run the law all the way up his ass. But what I am saying, if you're going to be that way, America, be that way all the way across the line. I will give you a couple examples. What's the guy Christian Bale?
Yeah.
The same week, Chris Brown and Rihanna got into it. Christian Bale beat his mama and his wife. But Chris Brown is the poster child for domestic violence. White folks have been fighting dogs in the South. Because I'm from Mississippi. We fight dogs in the front yard. White folks been fighting dogs. But Mike Vick is the poster child of domestic violence. I mean, of animal cruelty.
Yeah.
Same thing with football players and they beating their child and all that kind of stuff. You've been beating us since the 1800s with whips and chains. Now you want to be all uppity about somebody beating a kid. Come on, you've been beating us. All I'm saying about the Bill Cosby line is why every time a black person does something, we catch the bait. America throws us the bait and we allow black people to be crucified for things that America has historically done all the time.
Let's go to the next lyric. So, you know,
Barack sold lies, Reagan sold dope.
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
All right.
Well, say the whole lyric. Go ahead.
Oh, no. We'll break it down.
We'll break it down. Okay.
What I meant by that is I'm going to tell people something. This is my personal opinion. Barack not coming to save us. Black folks been waiting for Barack to come for it was his second term now. He not coming. He's a part of a system. He is not coming to help you. He sold us hope, and he never lied. He said, I'm going to give you hope. And that's all black people historically has ever got is fucking hope. I don't want your fucking hope. Politics has done the same thing as conventional religion. Dude, God has given you everything that you need inside of you. God is inside of you. God has given you everything you need to change everything in your life. You are waiting for God to come out of the sky, and God is already in you. So we're sitting around looking for God outside of us when God is really in us. And the same thing with politics. We're waiting for somebody to come who is never going to come. And everything that has happened to us historically, has anybody ever came to help us? It's not coming. See the silence?
Yeah.
Because it's not coming.
Okay, so
and then Reagan pushed dope into our communities. We know that. Oliver North. We can go on and on and on. I believe CIA stands for Cracking America, personally.
Cracking America. That's the acronym for CIA.
Right. And you know. Oh, but let me tell y'all something else about racism and the government. Do you know if Barack really wants to do something for black people, he can change the name of the building that the FBI is housed in. The FBI's building, their main building, is named after J. Edgar Hoover. Yeah. He is probably one of the people who crucified black people the most in America, from all the way from Huey Newton to the Black Panthers to all the way down. He hated any black organization, both positive or negative, whether it was Malcolm Martin, whoever it may end up being. If you want to do something, you can start by changing the name of the FBI building, but maybe you won't because the system is working. It's not broken. My personal opinion.
David Banner, we're going to open up the phone lines. See, we need this. We need this perspective.
Right.
Yep.
We got to hear it.
Yep.
I want to ask you about your feelings about rap music as an institution, as a culture, and the role it can play in bringing information like this up next. All right, David Banner, 888-742-3345. Sway in the morning, Shade 45. David Banner's here, have the beat.
Oh, yes, he is.
I know. I got my dose.
You getting your dose. We got a lot more work to do, though.
Yeah.
And I think this is interesting because these are conversations we don't have often.
True.
And, you know, the state of the black mentality, the white mentality in today's society, history, we're hearing everything. So I want to bring it to rap music.
Right. And before we go to that, I want everybody to know I do have a new album coming out because I usually get so emotional.
Okay, yeah.
I never pump my stuff. It's called The God Box. It's called The God Box.
When is that coming out?
It's coming out this summer. And I want people to know I have the records that y'all want to hear. I know people thinking because they hear like Evel Knievel, that's how the whole album is going to be. I made a conscious choice while it's cold. I'm going to hit people with stuff that they have to listen to. And I'm going to push it and make them listen. And then I'm going to give y'all some 808 as the summer warms up. You can buy that single right now anywhere on iTunes, any of your other conglomerates. You can go buy Evel Knievel right now. That's how you can support.
What do you, just back on you musically, after you say these sort of things, how do you rectify having to make songs that play in the strip club?
Oh, well, this is where I am. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm doing so well financially now. I own a multimedia company. People don't know this. I do music for Gatorade, and I did music for the World Cup. I did the music for Pepsi for the NFL season. Like,
awesome.
I'm blessed. So it gives me the opportunity that, you know, I'm going to make those songs, but it's all about the beat and the hook. I have this theory in my production team. I tell them, I call it the McDonald's syndrome. I call it the Big Mac syndrome. If they put salsa on a Big Mac, who are they going to market that to?
Latinos.
Right. If they put some bacon on it, who they going to push that to?
I don't eat bacon. So
well, I'm just saying, for the most part, you know what I mean.
They put bacon and cheese on it, you know. That's black folks.
Okay, and they put a box of...
and some relish and ketchup.
Right, they put a box of wine next to it. Who that's for?
Me.
That's happening.
She said me.
Yeah, okay,
but basically,
no,
what I'm saying, basically, it's still, you know, 2 pieces of cheese and special sauce.
Right.
The problem that I have with music is most of the so-called positive stuff is whack. It's not good. It's not the fact that people don't want to hear knowledge or they lazy. It's the fact that it's whack. I don't care what you do. If you make a song, it still has to compete with whoever the hottest artist out is, beat-wise, because that's what I do. I always make sure the beat is jamming and the hook is jamming. Then when I have this southern thing that I say I will never sacrifice the jammingness of my album or my song for anything. Not my spirituality, not my beliefs. The song has to be jamming first.
Okay.
And I think that's part of the problem, you know, is that people just got to make better music. They got to compete. You still have to compete, no matter what you stand for.
Right.
Yeah, but if you gotta use, you know, lyrics like "Wait till you see my, my penis," or talk about asses and titties.
Can I say dick?
You can
Say
say dick.
it, brother.
I just don't like using the word dick.
Yeah.
But if you, how do you personally? How do you deal with that? How you
I still say dick. I still say pussy. Like I got a line. I said, I'm trying not to cuss, but I still like to fuck.
Okay.
Like the truth is, we'll go back to the Black Panthers. I think the thing that people really miss about the Black Panthers is that they were cool as fuck.
Yeah.
The leather, the guns, the hairstyles, the shades. As much as people would like to discount that, they still had the special sauce, lettuce, and cheese. The ladies that were in the Black Panthers was, whew, I want me one of them right now. So I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something that a lady told me one time. I'm serious. A lady walked up to me. She said, "David Banner," she said, "I really believe that stuff you be talking about politically. I really believe that you really have our people's best interests in mind." She said, "But I want to fuck you. You fine." And what that made me realize is that if I have the muscles, if I look good, if I got the gray beard and showing men that it's all right to grow up and the beats are jamming, like people will catch all of the rest of the stuff as a residual effect of the things that they really came there for. So if you came there because you attracted to me, I don't have no problem with that. If you came to me because I'm revolutionary, whatever the reason is, as long as we can get these kids to listen. But I think the biggest problem, Sway, is that black folks don't own shit. We don't own nothing. Think about the end result of music. No black person controls it. The end result of a radio station, we don't own none. Yeah. The end result of a record, like who's really cutting the checks? Because a lot of people out here fronting like they got money, but they still getting checks cut to them.
From somewhere else.
We not cutting checks. That's one thing that I can honestly say that I thank God for, is that I cut checks, homie.
You cut checks.
It may not be big checks.
You cut checks. I'm about to ask you. So now I like to talk about solution. You know, What you got a he needs a cord to plug up the computer.
Charger,
Dave, you need a charger?
Yeah,
okay,
charger.
David Banner's going to play another exclusive for us. How do we reverse the damage done, or how do we move forward from this point forward?
Right.
I think we can't move forward until we repair the now. I mean, we repair what's wrong. I want to tell you something that I figured out through reading, bro. I found that what we don't talk about is slavery happened for over 350 years.
Yeah.
One of the greatest atrocities in world history, right? We went through all that stuff, and then we were released without any mental therapy, any physical therapy, any social therapy, and racism never stopped. So, like, where do we learn to get better? We were strategically picked apart. Our language taken away from us, our history taken away from us. We were beaten into a pulp. I mean, babies cut out of mothers' stomachs. We watching our dads hang. And then we were never repaired. So we got to see, that's one of the things. I was telling you about white supremacy. A lot of black folks don't want to stop because they don't want to give up those positive things that they get from white supremacy.
So how do we repair it? Who's to do it? Like, what's... And you thought, like, how do we repair? How we begin that process?
I first of all think the first step is we got to find out our God. I honestly believe that. Like, the most important thing to most black people is God. And if God doesn't look like you, if that's just like a child who doesn't look like his dad, but his brother looks like his dad. He's always looking to his brother like, damn, I don't look like the person that I came from. I think it first starts with knowledge of self and us finding our own God. That's what I personally believe.
Okay.
And I honestly believe it's very hard for Jesus to hide in Egypt where where people were dark skinned if he wasn't dark skinned too. We'll leave that.
Okay.
We'll leave that for later. But and the skin is copper and hair wool. You know, that sounds more like
Sway.
DB.
Yeah.
DB is Jesus.
Yeah. but
Jesus.
I also think that's the first thing. Then I think that we must also educate ourselves, because think about this: we are the only group of people also that go to school to learn to adore our oppressor. You don't see any other race of people that does that. You don't see Jewish parents sending their Jewish kids to go learn about Nazis. You don't see that. That's not logical. So we must educate ourselves. Then we must produce our own products. We must distribute our own products. Then we must buy our own products. That's the only way that we can protect or revitalize ourselves.
David Banner is here. I know a lot of people have been sitting online with questions.
Okay, let's get it.
So make your questions quick, and I'm going to try to get to as many as possible. All right, Larry in St. Louis, who'd you like to say to David Banner? How you doing, Larry?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Sway? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Banner. All I want to do is just acknowledge you, Banner. I'd like to acknowledge your movement, man. You know,
thank you, brother.
I'm in St. Louis, and I seen when you came down here for the Mike Brown situation, you know, and I appreciate what you're doing, your voice and everything, man. We appreciate that.
God bless you, brother. Thank you, brother. I need to hear that. I ain't gonna lie, brother. I promise you I need to hear that. Thank you.
You know what, Larry? Make sure when the God Box is released, his next album, that's another way you could support his movement. Just purchase that album.
I appreciate it.
Phil in Brooklyn, go ahead. What'd you like to say? Phil?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
What up?
Good morning.
I wanted to just say the impact that you have on hip-hop is something that should have been taking place a while ago. I grew up in the 80s, so all of the positive music that was out that gave black people a sense of self and gave them that pride on being who they were, including you, Heather B, with all gloves down, enough respect for that.
Thank you.
But it just faded away, and it was systematically removed to keep us a certain place. So now you have this people who don't want to be conscious. I like being ignorant. I like not knowing anything. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It hurts to see, because I have sons.
Point. Yeah.
And I have brothers, you know, and I have a large family, and it hurts to see that there is nothing out there besides what you are taught, which is love your oppressor. Jesus is a white man. You know, group economics is one of the biggest things that we need to get to as a people, as a whole, to take over our destiny.
Brother, you from New York?
Yes, I'm from Brooklyn.
I want to give you an example of something that I thought about when I walked through the streets of New York. When I first came to New York, when I was on Penalty Records, when Nori was killing the streets, I was in a group called Crooked Letters. When I walked down the street, I used to see the God bodies. I used to see, you know, the gods and the earth. You know what I'm saying? I used to see the Muslims on the corner. Like, we used to even see the church people out. Like, people were active in the communities. Like, when I walk through the streets, I don't see those people anymore. That's why I keep telling people, rap music is a residual effect of what the community is going through. Like, we don't, our elders are not out there. Like, when I was in St. Louis, that's one of the main things that those kids were saying, because the movement in St. Louis are children. Yeah. And they were not children, but like young men and women, I should say. But they were like, where are our elders? A young rapper told me one time, and this is one of the reasons why I came back to rap. He said, David Banner, I know you're doing well. He said, but what if we need you? Think about all of the people who these young kids look up to. When the money sucked up, and I got to say, I was the first person that did this. I got to take responsibility first. Yeah. The elders, we left and started making movies, started touring, started going out of the country, and we left rap. And these kids didn't do nothing but pick up and do what they know. And that's the same thing in the hood. The elders are not out there.
David Banner is hanging out with us, 888-742-3345. You said one of the two things that white supremacists fear most is loss of finances?
And loss of life.
And the loss of life. Yep.
Loss of finances. Speak on. Can you give me an example of that?
Black Americans consume enough products to be a small country by itself. We're only 13% of the population, but consume more than anybody else in America does. Imagine if, first of all, and I told people, I said, I think if you want to start a movement, something simple is don't buy nothing for Christmas. Mm-hmm. Let's shut it down. This is the biggest buying season. Don't buy nothing. And then people say, well, why not shop in black stores? But I said, you can shop in black stores, but those are still not black products. Again, you must make. I said it. You must make your own products, distribute them, then buy them. Our money, America is controlled by capitalism. And if we mess with their capital, then we mess with how they live. We have to spend different. But just like most people, the first thing that I said about Christmas, they said, well, what about our children? We don't want our children to be unhappy, but you want your kids to die out in the streets. Mm-hmm. Let black people start controlling their finances. I bet you all these people could get off of their ass and start talking to our president then. We got Michelle. Wait, hold on 1 second. I got Debbie on the line from Maryland. Hold on 1 second, Michelle. Hey, D. Hold on. Oh, shit. Okay. Debbie in Maryland, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Slade. Good morning, David Banner. My name is Debbie. I'm calling from Maryland. I'm calling in regards to what you guys are talking about. Mm-hmm. I'm Latino. Mm-hmm. My husband is African American. We have 4 kids. Mm-hmm. And one of the projects that my 10-year-old son was given was to be a colonist. And it was crazy because he had to dress up like, he was a plantation owner. He did his project, and my husband was like, wait, this is wrong. This is totally wrong. Why does our son have to dress up like that? Why can he be a slave or a free slave or anything but that? So he ended up not doing his project because of that. We refused, and we told the principal, no, he's not going to dress like a plantation owner, and he's going to do something else.
Do you know that Egyptians had running water, running pathways? They built, a lot of the things that we have right now. See, part of the problem, Love, is we don't know. A lot of us don't even know who our great grandmother is, much less whether we are Moors, whether we are Egyptian, whatever that may end up being, whether we're from Ghana. We don't know any of our history. So the thing is, and I tell people this all the time, and I just said it earlier, we existed 92,000 years before anybody else graced this earth. So saying that we didn't accomplish anything. No pyramids are not nothing. We can't dress up like anything. We don't know ourselves. Yeah. That's part of the problem. If our children even knew that people of color created math and science, math and science wouldn't be hard to them. But that's what I'm saying. And a lot of people may get mad when I say this. It is not up to our oppressor to teach us. Yeah. That's our fault that we don't know. It's out there. We just have to find it.
Thank you for your call.
Thank you, Love.
I want to play one last song.
Okay.
What are we going to... We got to do a part 2 on this. I already said. But we always say that. But you know what? Let me say why I appreciate you, man, because I don't think there's anyone in our business who interviews more people than we do in a year.
Right.
We average 3 or 4 or 5 a day. Yeah. Every week. We want to give everybody opportunity, and it ain't just the A-list people. It's like we just had Young Dolph in here, you know. But we had Big Sean, we had Cameron Diaz the other day, Seth Rogen or whoever, it's Tarantino, whatever. It's almost, one of the things you brought up is the fans, and I'm a fan of this as well as a conduit, and it's literally impossible in most cases to have substantial dialogue like this with artists. I'm going to talk about the artists first because I feel like they're scared of jeopardizing their position or turning off a fan who is so accustomed to hearing things that don't make you think. Right. That is like escapism. Right. So you don't have to think about these things. Like one of the callers said, people are celebrating being ignorant, not knowing. Right. I hate when people come up here and I might ask them, do you know who David Banner is, what his first album was? And they might say, nah, I wasn't, or even Outkast. Let's go take it to the 90s. Do you know who Outkast is, Southern Playalistic Cadillac music, whatever the first album was. They say, nah, I wasn't around at that time.
Or Run DMC. I have kids that don't
know
who
Run DMC. And then I say, well, do you know who Elvis is?
Yo.
Were you around then?
Yo.
Do you know who the Beatles are? Oh, yeah.
I just want you to remember this. Everybody in this room remember this. I got a song off of my album that's going to be a single, and it's called Elvis. Mm-hmm. Just remember that I said that.
Remember that?
I may not be able to come up here no more after that album.
Nah, you can still come. All right, so let me ask you, what responsibility do the fans have? Yeah. And what a lot of artists say, I ain't got no responsibility in this. I don't have no accountability in this. I'm just making art, man.
Mm-hmm. Yo,
what responsibility do you feel like an artist should have?
Yo, there's so much stuff running through my head that I'm gonna tell you, but I'll tell you something quick. I read in the morning something from every conventional religion. There's something I got to scroll from a Buddhist temple, and in this book it says, if nothing embarrasses you, then you don't have a soul. That means that if you're not embarrassed by anything that you do, then you don't have a spirit.
Too much pride.
Something must embarrass you. If you could take off your clothes anywhere, do anything, then you're not a person. You are an animal. See, that's the problem. We don't hold anybody accountable. I even give you an example with rap music. Black folks can't run through rock and roll like they want to. Yeah. Black folks can't run through country music like they want to. It takes you 4, 5, 6 albums to rise, even if they allow you to. We allow people to run through our music like it's nothing, without no checks and boundaries. Back in the day, you couldn't just. I know when I used to freestyle. People don't know this. I used to be a battle rapper. When people look at the Cypher, they're so surprised because they don't do their history. I come from a group named Crooked Letters. Yeah. I was a battle rapper first. You couldn't step into the Cypher. Like if you stepped into the Cypher and was whack, we would beat you.
Yeah.
Or they would beat me, one or the other. We have to have checks and balances. Back in the day, one of the best things that ever happened to rap music is that people were scared of black people. And that was good. Because, humans, and this is not a black or white thing, we only respect what we fear.
Yeah.
So, but the responsibility for the fans, this is what I want to say to the fans. It's like we complain about certain rappers not, coming to the hood when stuff happen. And you usually have the same rappers every time that show up.
J. Cole,
right?
Talib,
right?
You,
right? Tef Poe, people like that.
Bun.
But when tour time comes up, the same people that treat you like shit, that's where you run to. And again, I believe that's connected to slave. The people that treat us more like the slave master, we gravitate to. My personal opinion.
That's your personal opinion.
That's just my personal
So you
opinion.
feel like the fans have a responsibility
to support if they don't come to your hood, if they don't sign your autographs, and everybody can't sign every autograph, I get that, but support the people that support you.
You know what's interesting, because he's a man of his word. Way before the spotlight was being put on what was going on in the streets of Chicago.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
Man, those pictures were so powerful. Yeah, that was about, 4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
David Banner invited me to come to Chicago with him. And we just walked through random hoods.
And everybody came. And let me tell you about that really quickly.
Yeah.
Dude, in Chicago, there's some people that can't walk on their own block. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
And the fact that the folks and the vice lords, they let us through their hoods, they opened up to us, they talked to us, the Latin Kings, it's like they allowed us in their neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And literally, this was the funny thing, it was the children that was telling us, man, the cops be beating our ass. They don't let us into our own parks. Dude, and we walked from hood to hood. Me and Sway, and went in the barbershop.
Yeah. And I'll never forget that. And it's a man of his word. Tracy, you want to ask David one question?
Yes. So many things that you're saying are resonating with me, but I always have to play devil's advocate to an extent. And I think maybe in someone else's ears, they can hear with the resolutions that you're offering that it sounds like segregation for a short period of time. Is it that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes. It's segregation. Actually, let me be honest with you. I think integration was worse than slavery.
Really?
If you look at the stats, black people didn't start treating each other the way that they did until we integrated. Like, look at the stats. Even look at the murder. Because I'm going to tell you, once integration also happened, to kill a black man, there were no ramifications in the law until after integration, for the most part. And that's when they started being cops. They took off their white hoods and started being cops. And real quick to the so-called good cops, I want to tell you something that I never said on real TV, and we're going to set this good cop, bad cop stuff straight. All good cops, or so-called good cops, know who the bad cops are. You know who they are. And if you're such a good cop, do something about it. You know who they are. We all know who they are.
How do you segregate inside of America?
Inside of integration.
What you do is we have to start creating our own schools, and we have to suffer for a while. We do. That's what I was telling you about white supremacy and the so-called good things about white supremacy. People want to keep their record deals, like we say. People want to keep the comfort of white supremacy while trying to get knowledge of self. That's not going to happen. Don't you have like Little Italy? Don't you have like Little Chinatown? Is that not segregation inside of integration? Is it not? And some of them hoods, after 7 o'clock, you can't walk through anyway.
Yeah. So you're not saying go to another continent or another place to make this happen. You're saying within the society we live in today.
And the reason why is because we own America by blood right. See, other people conquered. We built this place, dude. Like, yeah, we could go other places, but it's like, man, until they pay me for what my ancestors done and the suffering that we still going through, Mississippi is mine by blood right. My great uncle got killed, literally lynched in Brookhaven, Mississippi. So I'm from Brookhaven, Mississippi, and my people died for Brookhaven, Mississippi. When I look at other races of people, you can't say that your people died in some cases because some of them went to war, but that was by choice. This is ours, whether they like it or not. You feel me? But the thing is, I think that other people will respect us more once we have our own anyway. Because if honestly, and I'm saying this about even protesting, if I own your job anyway, you can say whatever you want to. Whenever I feel like cutting you off, I can cut you off. And white supremacy knows that. And they knows for the most part, okay, we can cut David Banner off or we can kill David Banner. We know somebody else is going to come in and get right to shucking and jiving. We already know that. The thing is our community is going to have to hold people accountable, even if it's by, physical accounts.
Ooh.
David Banner, ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause. The project is called The God Box. When are you releasing this?
Summertime.
In the summertime.
Yep.
And then what are you about to play us now? This is an exclusive.
A-Ma. And this is going to be out in about 2 months. It's just A-Ma.
Okay, turn it to the rewind. Go take it back to the top. He brought his computer.
Oh, yeah, I did, didn't I? Oh, I hear it.
There it is. Sway in the morning. Yo, hold up. I want to thank him for coming by, man.
Hell yeah.
Hey, but you know why you don't have to do that? Because that's like me coming to your house. I'm coming back, man.
Come on. You know what it is,
Yo,
man.
Hey, can I want to say one thing before we go and before we play this song? I just want to tell people that I really appreciate the people in the streets that come up to me and thank me. Because it is hard, because I know the songs to make.
Yeah.
I make songs for some of the biggest people in the world. I know what beats to make. I know what to say. I know exactly what to say. That's the crazy thing about me. I make a conscious choice not to. So those people who do stand for me, people like y'all constantly are supporting me. I hear the stuff you say when I'm not around. I just want y'all to know that I appreciate it. But we gotta start supporting the people that support us. People like Jasiri X in Pittsburgh. People like Tef Poe. Those people who are making the conscious decision. I'm not telling you to support them if the songs are not whack. The shit gotta be dope. The shit gotta be dope.
Yeah.
But those people who are standing out there for the hood, man, just help them, bro.
Help them out.
They need it.
All right, David Banner. This is called once again.
A-Ma.
You ain't never heard this before, right?
Ever.
This a world premiere.
It actually ain't even finished.
Damn. There it is. Sway in the morning. Shade 45. Hey, my nigga. You supposed to be a god. Right there. Let it fake. Because he's going to get a guest artist on there. We don't want to say it too soon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I could put it out there to him now, while we got this energy going, just because he's one of my favorite dudes.
It feels right.
You want me to just say it? Will it to happen? Or is it
That's on you, brother.
Yeah, man. J Electronica will be perfect.
Yeah.
Would be perfect to complete that song. Jay Electronica, man, and all his fans, hit him up, tell him he need to be on this song. It's called Hey Ma. Nigga.
You supposed to be a god.
David Banner, man. Thank you for coming by.
No, I appreciate y'all for having me.
I needed that too, man. Personally, man, it's just it's difficult sometimes, man.
Yeah,
it's like you said, you know, you've been through depressing periods, you know, and you need inspiration. We need each other to feed off of each other too, to make sure you walk in the right path sometimes, and you need that. And just hearing you,
we do, man.
That just gives the fact that you're just conscious and thinking.
Yeah.
Not everybody gonna agree with everything you say.
They're not supposed to.
Right.
But the fact that you're conscious and thinking.
I say all the time, I don't care what you think about me.
Yeah.
Just think.
Just think.
Sometimes I say stuff I don't agree with.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I do it on purpose. If everybody comes against me about something that I say, at least my people are congregating together.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think about me. I don't give a shit about that. I just want my people to be together about something, even if it's against me. I don't have a problem with that.
David Banner, thank you, man.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shea 45.